Hi, this is Stacia, and today we're going to look at another variation that comes out of the King's Gambit. This is the King's Gambit declined classical variation. Okay, and so you will find that, especially at the club level, um, many people don't like to accept the Gambit and face White's crazy initiative and attacks. Perhaps they've gotten crushed by it in the past. So a lot of times you will see decline lines. Now these are quite comfortable for White, if you ask me. Um, but we still should know what we're doing. And so we're going to look at the first 10 moves of this main line and see what we can learn. So, okay, I'll show you how we get here. E4, E5, F4, and this is the King's Gambit. Now the main move is E takes F4, and the second most common is D5, and this is the Falkbeer counter gambit, I believe, which also can transpose into the modern defense after, well, let's see, after knight f3 takes and takes. This is actually the modern defense, and I have a video on this variation if you'd like to see that one. But we're not looking at these two moves, we're looking at the third one, which is bishop c5. And this is, in fact, the classical variation of the King's Gambit declined. Okay, so we're going to play knight f3. We almost always will, just keeping an eye on the h4 square. We don't want any crazy checks appearing at the wrong moment. And now black's going to play d6. So their idea here is to decline the gambit, put the bishop on its best square on the Italian diagonal, and then now that it's outside the pawn chain, play d6. Now, you'll notice that the play kind of revolves around this bishop in the opening because this is annoying. Okay, this is really annoying. You cannot castle until you deal with this bishop, right? And if black can somehow play like a6 and tuck the bishop back here, this could be an issue. This could be a big issue. And I've had games where at the very least you have to spend like 2 or 3 tempos just to get this bishop out and challenge it. So, okay. So knight c3 is actually one of the ways you can do this. And the idea is knight a4. And we're going to hurry up and capture the bishop. But the main line and the way that I play it is actually c3. So the typical idea of thrusting in the center with d4 is coming. And that will stop the bishop and allow us to castle on the king side, which we very often like to do. Okay, so I've faced 3 different moves here. Now I will say that if bishop g4 is played in this position, okay, this is not the main line, but you can actually take here, and after takes, you can play queen a4 check, and this is called the Uwe attack. And I'm learning this line. It's not a normal King's Gambit line in my opinion, because you're actually going to win this e-pawn and then be behind a development, sort of the opposite of a King's Gambit. But it is a very chaotic opening, so in that sense, it's kind of fun to play. But after c3, the main move is actually knight f6. There's also knight c6, and it would continue almost the same way, and I'll show you what I mean. But after knight f6, we're going to play d4. Okay, that was the point of c3. And now black captures. We take. They check. Okay, we're going to go ahead and play bishop d2, allowing a trade of dark square bishops. Black will take. And now, very important, if you take with the queen, that's a mistake because now, whoops, dropped your e-pawn. So don't do that. Instead, take with the knight, guarding. So what's the difference between this and knight c6? Well, I'm so glad you asked. So after c3, we just looked at knight f6, but what if knight c6? Well, this is a little bit better for white because now the e-pawn is not under attack. So we'll go here, and it kind of goes the same. check, bishop d2. But in this position, you actually could play knight c3 if you want, I think. Right? Wait, hang on a second. Black's turn. Takes. Yeah. So what I meant is you can take with the queen here. And I think that this is probably slightly better than the other variation. The reason being we got our queen off the first rank already, so we'll be connecting our rooks more quickly. And the knight can now appear on the c3 square, which is the natural and best square for the knight. Notice that this d4 pawn is defended twice. So the knight on c6 isn't quite as threatening. Also, we may have ideas with d5, kicking that knight. So, alrighty. So let's go back to the main line. So bishop c5. We play knight f3, d6, c3, knight f6. Okay, now we're going to go back into that variation. Takes, takes, check, here, here, here. Okay, so we're already at move 8, and black's main move is to castle, which is very sensible. And now we're going to play bishop d3. So I'm going to tell you something I've learned about this move. It's tempting to play bishop c4. Okay, it really is, but I think bishop c4 is kind of a mistake because, well, we've got a really nice center, and kind of the spirit of the middle game of this is that black is going to be counterattacking this center. And so the bishop on d3 is important because it's helping to guard our e-pawn. Now, I'll also tell you that basically our order of business is to castle kingside and then do some sort of pawn push and then attack. Create threats on the kingside. e5 is the main one, but you will see lines where you play f5 and you will see lines where you play d5. And this opening is complicated enough that I can't give you a hard and fast rule here. You kind of have to keep an eye on all these moves. Okay, so let's continue. Bishop d3, and the main move is now bishop g4. All right, yeah, I agree that this is the most challenging way that black can continue. I would like to castle here. Let's see, I would like to castle. But if I do, well, I think I can, but rook e8 is going to happen is the thing. And our e-pawn will be attacked. And if they take here, takes a defender off here. So, okay. Apparently the main move is castle, so we're going to try this. I'd be concerned about rook e8 here. But it's saying the main line is knight c6. And honestly, there's a lot of different ways that black can be annoying now. But this is move 10, so we're not going to continue any further. The one thing I will tell you is that there's only 3 games in the database from here, and the move is queen b3. And the point of queen b3 is, yes, we're attacking the pawn, and maybe we'll take it, but the main point is that we're getting out of the pin. So now this pawn is defended again. So, okay, and then black can play d5, which I've never seen. But I probably have had close to this position. And I've certainly had this position over the board several times by now. All right, so I hope you kind of got an idea of what this opening's like. In Stacia style, we're going to review the moves now quickly so that we can burn it into our brains. So it goes e4, e5, f4, king's gambit. They are not going to take the pawn. They are going to play bishop c5. So this is the signature move of the classical variation. Knight f3, d6, and now c3. We need to get rid of this bishop. We need to deal with him. Knight f6, we're going to play d4, takes, takes, check, bishop d2, takes, And we're going to take with a knight. Very important. Have to maintain defense of this. Castles is now the main move. Bishop g3. The bishop belongs here. Needs to maintain defense of e4. Also, rook c1 and bishop to b1 is often a plan, just so you could be aware. Because knight c6, knight here is going to try to take your bishop. Don't let them. Put the bishop on b1. All right, and bishop to g4, pinning the knight, making this weaker. Castles, get the king safe, and now knight c6 is the main move, attacking here. So now queen b3 is a way to redefend this pawn. And notice if they take here first, no problem. We replace the knight. Okay. And I'll tell you that these middle games are tough to play. So if you're trying this opening and black plays correctly, it will be difficult. But if you can survive the early middle game where black is counterattacking with moves like knight h5 and this and rook e8, normally the queen's still here. Yeah, if you can survive the stuff that black is doing, then you'll have a very, very nice advantage and attacking chances. All right, so I hope you enjoyed the video and learned something. Definitely let me know if you have any thoughts or if I missed anything. And let me know if I talk too much, because sometimes I feel like I'm giving more information than necessary during these. But okay. All right, thanks, and I'll be back with more videos on the King's Gambit. Thanks for watching. Bye.